TheChairShot.com.
This is your Alpha Season 4 Week 1 in review. Game of the week, Child Please Super Bowl loser goes up against Retro Palm Trees, the New England owner. Looks like a big battle. You expected Marcus Mack to go off in this game, but it looks like he doesn't. Retro pulls off a big upset, 40-24 for the Bengals. Rookie Philip Manziel, 15-25, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Marcus Mack did not go off, 10 carries, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. John Ross had 7 receptions, 101 yards, and 1 touchdown in the loss. But for Palm Trees, Dak Prescott, 15-21, 321 yards, 2 touchdowns. Reggie Bush Jr., who even knew he had a kid, 27 carries, 16 yards, but only a 0.6 yards per carry. Kind of like Reggie Bush in the NFL. Brandon Cooks, 5 receptions, 135 yards, 1 touchdown. And defensive tackle, Brown, 4 tackles, 3.5 sacks. Big game there from Retro Palm Trees. Game 2 has us looking for the Player of the Week. Player of the Week award goes to the team that allows the least amount of points in any given week. And of course, if there is a tie for the least amount of points, we go by the greatest point differential. We had a few teams that allowed only 17 points. However, Slick 1240 and his New York Jets had the biggest point differential by blowing out the Denver Broncos of deadliest shot by score 55-17. In the win, Spencer Chase, 11-15, 268 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Orleans Darkwa had 17 carries for 141 yards and 3 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, he only had 3 catches, but it was for 136 yards with a touchdown. In the loss, Phillip Rivers was 11-23 for 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, while C.J. Anderson ran 16 times, couldn't find any ground, 34 yards total for him. Now, your Player of the Week runner-up goes to the next game. It was Tennessee Titans and Nabil and Detroit's Puck 926. You know what? 50-17 in this blowout. Not quite the blowout it was of the previous game, but Puck just couldn't find his footings here. In the victory, Nabil, his Frenchman quarterback, Ladacour, whatever we're going to call him the Frenchman. 10-24, 512 yards, 6 touchdowns, 158.3, perfect passer rating for the Frenchman. Rookie running back, probably Pierre, the way this team goes, but the rookie running back Gibson, 16 carries, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. In a cheesy stat, the tight end led the game in receptions. 7 receptions, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jonnu Smith looks like the cheesy Player of the Week. And, of course, the rookie Keon Ross, he's a wide receiver, 5 receptions, 112 yards, my apologies. In the loss, Carter Vo, 8 of 19 for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Devin Burns had 4 receptions for 122 yards and a touchdown. Brendan Cole on defense came up with 6 tackles, 3 big sacks. As a matter of fact, Puck had a really good defensive outing, even though he lost this game. 10 total sacks on the quarterback. That is what you call pressure. Now, Shame of the Week candidate, I'm putting myself up, and I'm probably just going to make myself the only candidate for this Shame of the Week because Beast Mode blew me out. His Arizona Cardinals came into Atlanta 63-21. I got battered and beaten. I'm not even sure I had a possession in the first quarter. Actually, a defensive possession because I kept turning the ball over. In the win, Tyrod Taylor, 16 of 19, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Of course, he had a perfect passer rating. David Johnson, 9 carries, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. He kept getting injured in this game, so I don't know if he went forward, but he got knocked out quite a few times. Dez Bryant, 7 receptions, 121 yards, and Hassan Reddick on defense, beasting up, swelling up, hit the gym, 10 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and an interception. In the loss, Matt Ryan, 16 of 39, 302 yards, 1 touchdown. Devontae Freeman, he had all kinds of room to run. Should have run the ball more. 13 carries, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. Tavon Jordan had 6 catches and 106 yards, but he got knocked out. He will be out for 7 weeks. Forrest Riley, 6 receptions, 118 yards, but none of it mattered because we lost 63-21. Next game brings the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. T-Mac versus Tillman, big defensive battle here in the division. T-Mac, pulls off a huge upset over the current Super Bowl winner, 31-28. In the win, Jared Goff, 5 of 6 for 79 yards and a touchdown. Looks like he maybe got injured because Ryan Tannehill came in and was 14 of 16 for 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, because that's what Tanny does, wins game. Todd Gurley, 18 carries, 79 yards, 1 touchdown. And of course, Sammy Watkins, you know he's getting the ball when you play the Rams. 6 receptions, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Russell Wilson in the loss, 13 of 22 for 276 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. While Jabari Morrell had 10 carries, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe Jabari Morrell won the best running back last season. He didn't seem to get much ground here in this game. Amara Darboh, 5 receptions, 137 yards. 5 receptions, 137 yards, 1 touchdown. Russell Wilson was sacked 9 times in this game. Usually it's Pat Tillman with the defensive stats, but T-Mac pulled it off. Next game, newbie, turn 55, and it's Cleveland Browns up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chill, 57. Almost pulls it off. Chill gets the close game, 17-14 in the division. In the win, Cameron Landry, 20 of 27, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Martavis Bryant, I can't spell it right apparently, 8 receptions, 122 yards, 0 touchdowns. Bud Dupree, he had 4 tackles and 2 sacks. And in the loss, Deshaun Kaiser went 13 of 19 for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Isaiah Crowell, he had 12 carries, but he was only able to get a few yards, and I can't even read it, so we're just going to go past it. But Christian Kirksey on defense had 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. Next game, Washington Redskins, Green Bay Packers, Chi-Town Money Boy. Chi-Town on a streak, 45-36. You don't normally see this from Chi-Town, so he is living the dream. Deshaun Watson, 10 of 12 for 185 yards. Sam J. Perrine, I believe it is, 19 carries, 131 yards, 4 touchdowns. Keith Marshall, 7 carries, 89 yards, 1 touchdown, because Chi-Town is afraid to throw the ball, so he just hands it off. Money Boy, Aaron Rodgers, 20 of 33 for 425 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 picks. Kenyon Drake, he's a winner, 9 carries, 30 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 fumble, put the ball on the ground. Demaryius Thomas, 4 receptions, 141 yards, 1 touchdown. Aaron Lynch, though, big on defense. He had 7 tackles and 3 sacks in that game. Giants fan and the new guy, we're going to call him Ant, with the Baltimore Ravens. Giants-Ravens, 36-20. Giants fan walks away with the win. The rookie Ethan James was 18 of 27, 278 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in the victory. Derrick Henry, 25 carries, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns. Odell doing Odell things. You know he's getting the ball. 5 receptions, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. In the losing effort, Jimmy Garoppolo, 7 of 20, 127 yards, 1 interception, and Tevin Coleman, he went off 16 carries, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 fumble. Next game, Kansas City, new guy, Priest, MVP. He's got his team, but loses an upset. He died, 31-20. Texans get the victory. Kirk Cousins was 14 of 22 for 205 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Ty Montgomery, he had a couple carries. He had a few yards, about 95 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 5 receptions, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Paxton Lynch in the losing effort, 10 of 15, 201 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Then I think he got hurt, and Will Trapazzo came in. He was 2 of 7, 61 yards, 2 interceptions. Will Trapazzo actually led the team to the wild card round last season, but big upset. They're missing Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Giovanni Bernard, 14 carries, 5 yards total, 0.4 yards average. That might be the lowest average of the week. And then rookie Kilo Venable, he had 5 receptions, 136 yards in the loss, so he's making a difference on his side of the ball. Philadelphia goes up against Dallas, another new guy, Steady Ballin versus Debray. 41-34 is the win here. Steady Ballin keeps the vets alive. Looks like the newbies haven't won a game yet, but they'll come around. Looks like Hanson Snell went 13-25 for 282 yards, 4 touchdowns. And Curtis Samuel, 3 receptions and 96 yards with a touchdown. Free safety, Justin Simmons, 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery. He was a monster on defense. Patrick Mahomes left Kansas City, now in Dallas. He went 27-38, 393 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Ezekiel Elliott had 12 carries, 28 yards. Well, you got to be able to run with Zeke. can't run with Zeke, maybe you should trade him to somebody that can. Come on now. Rookie Therese something or other had 6 receptions for 147 yards. Javante Norton, 4 receptions, 45 yards, and 3 picks. Almost everything he catches is a touchdown. Bloom King and Dish Out next game. It is a divisional matchup, New Orleans, Tampa Bay. Bloom King, 35-30 in the victory. Teddy Bridgewater, he went 6 of 11 for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Alvin Kamara did it on the ground. 14 carries, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. Devon Hagg had 3 receptions, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. And of course, the rookie cornerback, Kashmara, had 9 tackles and 3 sacks. Now, Jameis Winston in the loss, he didn't do too bad. 18 of 35 for 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, to 3 picks. That really hurts. Tavares Anderson, 13 carries, 208 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. And then the rookie middle linebacker, I believe it's Hunter Hess, had 2 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 1 deflection. Next game, Oakland, Buffalo. Fam versus Durain, another new guy. 34-27. Durain couldn't bring the victories to the new kids. Jeffrey Carson was 16 of 19, 259 yards with 2 touchdowns. Redmond on the ground, 19 carries, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Frank Olson had 4 receptions, 99 yards with 2 touchdowns as well. There's a lot of touchdowns on that team. Derek Carr in the loss, 17 of 21, 295 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Barnes on the ground, 21 carries, 44 yards, 1 touchdown. The rookie Patrick Cobb, 1 carry, but he took it to the house from 75 yards. Put that ball on the wall. Free safety Obi Melanfonwu, 13 tackles in this game. What a monster. Minnesota loses to straight coach and his Chicago Bears. DTFM not happy about this score, 56-19. Graham Webb was 17 of 26 for 287 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 picks in the loss. Pumphrey? What kind of name is Pumphrey? 11 carries, 51 yards. Rookie Lewis Cox had 7 receptions, 125 yards, 1 touchdown in the loss. Another rookie, Alan Parker, 6 receptions, 103 yards. In the win, Mitchell Trubisky went 14 of 15, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, a perfect passer rating, 158.3, while Jordan Howard did it on the ground, 17 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 fumble. Derek Nelson, 5 receptions, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Chicago Bears. They get the victory. They have moved on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Season 4 Week 1 Week in Review. I got to tell you, making these recap wizard things are a pain in the ass. So if you guys want to help me out, if you win the game, jump over to recapwizard.com, make one of these, email it over to me, or post it in the group me chat. That would help me out a lot. If not, I'll keep doing it as much as I can. So that is your Week in Review. Stay tuned for next week.